Welcome back, friends! So I'm Sabrina Gwynn, a clinical herbalist with over 10 years of experience in the holistic health field, and today I will be showing you how to make a calendula salve. So calendula is also known as pot marigold. It's a cheerful yellow flower that has many benefits for our health and well-being. One of its lesser known but equally important uses is its support for the lymphatic system, which is vital for our immune function and detoxification. The lymphatic system is a network of vessels, nodes, and organs that transports lymph fluid throughout the body. Lymph fluid contains white blood cells, antibodies, and waste products that are filtered by the lymph nodes. The lymphatic system helps protect us from infections, virus, and other harmful invaders, as well as maintaining fluid balance and removing toxins. However, sometimes the lymphatic system can get sluggish or congested, leading to symptoms such as swollen lymph nodes, fatigue, skin problems, headaches, and poor immunity. This can be caused by factors such as a lack of physical activity, poor diet, stress, or environmental toxins. Calendula is often referred to as herbal sunshine and is a wonderful herb that can brighten up the dark and stagnant areas of our bodies. As herbalist Matthew Wood says, it's for places where the sun doesn't shine. These places include our armpits, breasts, groins, and other places where the lymphatic system doesn't get a lot of movement and a lot of toxins and waste can build up. Calendula can help stimulate the lymphatic system by increasing blood flow, releasing the tissues, and encouraging drainage and elimination. One way to use calendula for lymphatic health is to make and apply a calendula salve. A salve is a simple herbal preparation that consists of infused oil and beeswax. So next, I'm going to walk you through how to make your own calendula salve.
All right, first you are going to need a bowl for measuring, a scale, some sort of containers to put it in. This is a 1-ounce tin that has a screw-on lid. These are 2-ounce tins that just pop off, or a jar does just fine if you are just storing it and it's just for you. Then you need some beeswax pellets, some vitamin E oil, and of course your calendula oil. Now this one is done the folk method where you let it sit for 4 to 6 weeks, and in my blog I put about doing it the faster way with a little bit of heat. You can do it whatever way works. If you don't have the oil and you have the flowers and you want to do it fast, you can do it that heated method that's on my blog, which is boundlessherbs.org, and you go to the Herbal Horizons. Other things you're going to need are a double boiler. So I don't have that, but I have a big pan, and I have this Pyrex bread dish, which I've been using for years now. Works just fine. And you just have to make sure that the water goes the whole way up to the bottom of your pan that's inside, and it doesn't cover or go over, because one thing that is a big disclaimer is you have to be very careful not to get any water in your oil, or it can mess up your entire salve. So you want to be very careful in all the steps with water. But yeah, so double boiler in some fashion, a spatula of some fashion to make sure that you can scrape it off, and then a pouring container. Ideally it's glass. This is what I have though, and it's bright and yellow for calendula, so I'm okay with that. And this will be what we pour from in here to pour into our containers. Another thing I forgot to mention, being that we need to strain our oil first, is to have some sort of mesh strainer. And then I also have this cheesecloth that I have all this linked on my boundlessherbs.org website. I have a recommended tools page, which has a lot of this stuff listed, so you can find them there to make your life easier. But yeah, you're just going to put that inside of your strainer, and then we're going to strain the oil. Okay, so we've got our oil. I'm going to open it up, and then I am going to pour it into here with that beautiful yellow green color. I love it. And we're gonna let that go into there. All right, and what I like to do after that is to just pick up my cheesecloth and strain with my hands and get as much of that goodness out that I can. So what you're left with here is called the mark, which some people say is garbage. One, you can't compost it because it has oil in it. But what I like to do with these is actually use them for fire starters, because they go up really nice and they always burn for a while, and then you just kind of get to use it in some other way. There's also the spagyric method, which I won't go too much in detail with that, but there are different ways to use this than just throwing it out. If that's something that interests you, look that up. Evolutionary School of Herbalism has a really, really, really good program on that. Anyway, but yes, so I'm going to turn this into a fire starter so I can utilize these beautiful petals again. All right, next we are going to weigh out 1 ounce of the beeswax. So you turn your scale on, make sure it's on ounces, so hit the tare. And then I'm going to pour my beeswax pellets in until I have 1 ounce. And like I said, a 1/4 cup is about 1 ounce. So 1:1 ratio, 1 cup of oil to 1 ounce of beeswax pellets. Or you could use sunflower pellets, which I just learned about from my teacher, Ruth Glass, and those are a vegan option. I have not used them yet, so I can't say how they are per se. I have heard they're a little harder though. But yeah, so a 1:1 ratio with beeswax pellets. So the next part is to get your double boiler going. So I have turned it on to warm up. It's not completely warm yet, but the next part is taking your beeswax or sunflower wax or whatever kind of wax you're using and putting that into your double boiler to melt. It's easier to start this way. You could start with the oil first and do these next. I've just done it this way, and this is how I've also seen other people do it, that I think it works best to do the wax first, get that melted, and then add in your oil. So we're going to get this melted down, and then we'll be back. I just wanted to mention, so to spread them out helps them to melt a little faster. Also, you can use they have more of the brick kind of beeswax. You can use that kind as well. And you just have to, then it just takes a little longer for it to melt versus the pellets, but this will work as well. And you're just going to shave this down to whatever size you need. And once your wax is good and melted, slowly pour in your calendula oil. I like to just do a little bit at a time because, as you can see, it'll turn into like an egg drop soup looking thing as the beeswax kind of hardens again through getting cooled down by the oil. And then I kind of just let that melt more, and then I will add more oil, and I will continue that process until it is melted together. The beeswax is completely melted into the oil. All right, now just be careful because this does get hot, but you want to get it all in there, get as much of your oil out by scraping as you can. You do lose some oil and stuff as you do this, just from the consistency of it, but do your best to get as much as you can, and then you just want to make sure that beeswax is nice and melted, which happens pretty fast when you get to this point. Now, I have one of these awesome gloves that I got from my Elabella infuser, but I also have a different one. If you just could find a glove in some way like this, they're super handy when you're doing this kind of work because this does get really hot. All right, and then we have to work fast because this will harden as soon as we start moving it off of the heat. So now that it's good and melted, I am going to pour it into this container so that I can pour it into my jars. So I'm going to turn off my boiler, and then I'm going to work. I'm going to actually grab my other glove so that I can grab it without burning myself. And then the other trick is you want to make sure that there's no water on this. So I need to have some sort of towel to dry it up so that none of that water gets into my oil or my salve. So we want to work kind of fast, but we're just going to get all the water off this so it doesn't drip into that. And once it's dry, then I can pour it into my pouring container. And again, try to work as fast as you can, but be careful. And then I'm going to again try to scrape as much as I can to get it out, to not waste any of the goodness. And once you're happy with as much as you got, again, try to work as quickly and safely as possible. You can set aside this. I will actually keep this because I'll use this to put it into the pan, and we'll be right back. Okay. So next we have to put it into the container. So first I'm going to put 2 or 3 drops of my vitamin E oil into my container. I'm putting it in 1, 2, 3. And then I take my oil. So I'm not putting it into small tins. You could put it in the small tins. Have those ready before you pour. Open and ready. And I'm just going to pour my salve into this jar. And again, you just want to scrape as much as humanly possible to get as much as you can. And then, yeah, you'll start to see it hardening as you go. The one part that I forgot to do is, the test where you put a spoon in it and check if you like the hardness. I've been making this for a while and I like the consistency, so I didn't honestly think, I did think about it, but then forgot about it. So I apologize. When you're doing it, when you have it melted together, before you pour it in and you take it off the heat, you can take what is called a freeze test and get a spoon or a stick or something like this, put it in the freezer for 2 minutes, and then when it comes out, see if you like the consistency. If it is too soft, then you can add more wax. If it is too hard, then you can add more oil. The 1-to-1 ratio, though, you don't really want to go too much over that or you're getting really, really hard. So sometimes I would recommend just sticking with the 1-to-1 and letting it harden, and I think you'll be happy with those results. But yeah, so now we just need to let this cool off completely before we put the lid on. You could put any essential oils in here if you'd like, anything like that. But yeah, there you go. You've made your salve.
Now that you have your Calendula Salve, which was so easy to make, right? So now how to utilize it. First, just take a small amount of your salve and apply it to your skin and rub in a circular motion to warm it up and to get it deep into your skin. Like I said, this is a great one for places where your lymph nodes are not getting a lot of sun. So like in your armpit area here, on your neck, and behind your ears, get all of this flowing, get it all drained out, and under your breasts, in your groin, down your legs. These are all areas that really need to get some movement, and these massages will really help do that. Repeat this process daily or as needed to stimulate lymphatic movement. So some other benefits of your Calendula Salve are it hydrates and nourishes dry or cracked skin. It reduces inflammation and redness caused by rashes, eczema, or psoriasis. It heals minor wounds, cuts, scrapes, burns, or insect bites. It prevents infection and scarring by promoting skin regeneration. It relieves pain and itching from sunburns or cold sores. It soothes irritated or inflamed mucous membranes, such as your nose or your mouth. It protects your skin from environmental damage, such as wind or cold. It enhances your natural beauty by giving your skin a healthy glow. Now, enjoy your homemade Calendula Salve. And just a caution, calendula is generally safe and well tolerated by most people, but some people are allergic to the aster family of flowers and could have a reaction to calendula or possibly another ingredient in your salve. So just make sure that you always try it a little bit first before you put it all over the place in case you have any rashing, itching, swelling, or difficulty breathing. And then of course stop using it immediately and get medical attention. Also, avoid putting it on top of open wounds so we don't trap in any bacteria. Calendula Salve is a wonderful natural remedy for supporting your lymphatic system and boosting your immunity. By making your own Calendula Salve at home, you will be using it regularly to help move your lymph system, and you can enjoy the many benefits for your health and well-being. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please ask away. I'm a firm believer that we're never done learning. I don't know everything and I don't claim to, but I'm always up to learn something new. So until next time, be well, stay herbaceous, and happy healing.